you ever wished that you had a master floral designer that you could have stand beside you step by step and teach you the process of floral design? My name is Kirby Holt. I'm a master floral designer with more than 25 years of experience in the business, and I want to show you step by step how to create beautiful floral designs with the kits from myfloraldesign.com. I hope you enjoy this video and this series. I have a beautiful arrangement using orchids and succulents today that is a really Asian-inspired, very fun, stylish design. And we're going to start with this beautiful orchid. Now, when you bring them out of the box, the stems are going to be bent just a little bit just because of packing. We're going to give that a cut about 6 inches from the end of the stem. And I'm going to take my knife and just scrape a little bit of that plastic and coating away from the wire. The more of that coating we leave on, the harder it is for the adhesion of this stem as it goes in. Now notice I am bending that back just like a hairpin, and by bending that back it will keep this orchid from swiveling when I place it into the styrofoam. And we've already inserted and glued in styrofoam into the container for you, covered it with moss, and I'm going to go into the very end of the styrofoam at the end of the container and push that in, and then I'm going to gently bend this orchid into an arc over the container, which is kind of a boat style container. Now this arrangement has a lot of movement, and one of the nice things about that, you can almost feel the breezes blowing with that just flowing one way. So we're going to enhance that flow with some branches that we have here. Again, we're going to just straighten those out. And one of the things in nature, nothing is perfectly straight. So when I'm dealing with permanent flowers, I always give things a little bit of a bend, a little bit of a twist, and it mimics nature better. And that's one of the things that we want to do when we're using permanent or man-made products, is to try to give them the most natural appearance possible. And I'm going to come in right next to that orchid and push that stem in and just bend those so they kind of follow the line of the orchid and create a little bit more movement, so that, you know, when we are, you know, as an artist, if you're drawing breeze, you use a lot of lines to try to draw that breeze. We're going to do the same thing with these stems, and by creating a lot of lines of movement, it really allows your eye to almost feel like you are sensing or feeling a breeze. I have a second one. I'm going to push it in on the other side of the orchid, and again we're just going to pull all of those little stems over. Just keep bending, twisting. There's wire almost out to the tip of it, so that you can just bend, twist until you're happy with the way that that flow is following the line of the orchid off to one side. Some can go a little bit above the orchid, some can go a little bit below the orchid. Let's see, and we can continue to adjust that. Now I'm going to do what we call basing by filling in the bottom layer of the design. This is really the top layer of the design. Now the bottom layer is here, and I'm going to create a focal emphasis, or a place where the eye will go down near the bottom of the arrangement with these two moss-covered balls or orbs. And those picks are inserted and glued into the side right up under the moss, and I don't want them to be at the same level. I'm going to kind of stair step them just a little bit so that the ball is just above the other. What I think of when I see two of the orbs right side by side looking at me, it almost like cow eyes staring out. So we don't want them side by side. We want to offset them a little bit. It's a little design technique. Now we have this stem or bush of eucalyptus, and it has kind of a frosty or a grayish color that works really well with the succulents that we will be putting in next. And you'll see I'm just cutting those right at the base of each wire, and then I'm going to come again and cut them so that each stem is separated. And this will allow me a lot of different insertions, so I can cover most of this base that we have with this eucalyptus and fill it in real nicely. I love different textures. This is a very, very textural arrangement, lots of rough textures that play against each other. The colors are all very, very similar, and you get a more calming effect with an arrangement, a room, an outfit when you go with primarily one color. So it's monochromatic or one color, and since we don't have a lot of different colors, then we're mixing up a lot of different textures in order to achieve a pleasing effect at the end of what we're doing. And I'm just going to use those little stems and push them into the styrofoam all the way around. And at the end, you may find that you have just a little bit of moss hanging down. You can take some scissors and just trim that away if it's still hanging off when we get finished with the arrangement. And in this arrangement, it's just as important to do the back as it is the front, because it can work as a centerpiece. This would be beautiful on a coffee table, on a breakfast table, a dining table, anywhere that you would need an arrangement, even a fireplace. This is narrow enough that you could put it on a mantle of a fireplace, and it wouldn't be too large or too wide for that use. So you can see, and I'm just going to tip that towards you just a little bit so you can see that we have that eucalyptus placed all the way around. And then the last thing that we're going to put in this one are some beautiful succulents. And succulents are a very, very trendy item that we are using a lot right now. I have two larger ones, and we're going to place the two large ones at each end of the design. I'm going to take the first large one and place it down toward this end, and then I'm going to take the second large one and place it here on the other end. And then you'll see that you have mostly brown and green, and we're going to kind of alternate those as we place them in, and that way the insertions are more interesting. Now these little picks that are on the end are very sharp. They will cut you, so keep your fingers away from those. Handle them carefully, because you don't want to end up with a little pick cut. I'm going to turn it again. These are very quick and easy to insert right into the arrangement. Then I'm going to go on each side of those with one of these brown succulents, and then finish it off right here. So there's the finished product, a beautiful kind of Asian style orchid and succulent arrangement. Very formal as far as the color, but much more casual in the presentation of it. You can almost feel yourself out on a hillside, and the breezes are just blowing and creating a lot of movement and interest on that orchid arrangement. I'm going to turn one more time so you can see the other side. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I encourage you to browse the library of arrangements and videos on our website, myfloraldesign.com.